Hey everybody, it's Amy. Thanks for joining me again for this discussions on the Anglican Rosary. Last time I gave you a brief introduction. I showed you some different types of Anglican rosaries, the way they can be made, strung, wire wrapped, and linked, and I showed you the different beads on the rosary and the different points. We have the cross, the invitatory, the first cruciform, of which there's 4, and then your week's beads. And there's 28 in total in 4 groups called decades, with 7 beads in each group. Today we're going to be talking about preparing to pray. It seems like an odd thing to tackle, doesn't it? Preparing. You mostly go in with the idea for praying. It's a few minutes before bed, in the morning before getting out, or before a meal. Here it's a little different because we're setting down to purposely meditate and pray, opening our minds and having a communion with God, having that communication where, though He's always speaking to us, we're reaching out first and are paying a bit more attention by separating ourselves from our busy lives and some of the distractions. The first distraction that you're going to want to separate yourself from is your computer. I really don't suggest, once you've picked your prayer, that you read it on the computer. Read it the first time on the computer, but don't pray it on the computer. What you want to do is write it down if you can't memorize it. And if you can memorize parts of it, only write down what you can't remember. And that way you're really encouraging your mind to improve your memory, so that once you're freed from paper, you free yourself from the distraction of that. You're able to focus on your prayers. And once you've been able to focus on your prayers, you will be able to start listening and feeling that message from God. Is there a piece of scripture that's speaking to you? Do you have a feeling or a thought or a resolution of a problem that you didn't have earlier? It's important to listen for these things. And part of that listening is being quiet. So the biggest thing is that when you sit down, find somewhere comfortable. Later, you can stand, walk, kneel, lie down. Doesn't matter. I suggest sitting for the first couple. Once you've got a comfortable position, just practice being quiet for a few minutes. Listen to the ambient noise that's around once you've turned off the TV, or if you have some light music going. Once you're comfortable, start praying your rosary. You're going to want to start at your cross and move up, like we talked about last time, going from the right-hand side around, and you're going to want to set out how many rounds you're going to do. If you're going to do 1 or 3 or more, it's a good idea to set out that time so you can have an idea of how long that you're really handing your to-do list to God and saying, hold this for me so we can spend some time together. Once you've done that and you've sat quietly and started, once you set in, go with the intent and pacing that you plan to keep for the entire rounds. Move smoothly with time for thought, so that you're really understanding what you're saying. Because if we don't, we become what Jesus admonishes in Matthew, saying, look at the Pharisees. They stand and they repeat words, and they think that they're praying. If we just rattle off these words with no thought for what they are and what they mean to us now, and have meant to us during our journey of faith, then it is just a run-on of words. When you learn these by heart and you start to really let your mind be touched by the words and you're still communing with God, it becomes something so much more. It becomes meaningful prayer. So remember that once you're done, finish as you began with a few minutes of silence before returning to work, so that you can really take that with you, that feeling of comfort and strength and support. And once you have mastered this, so many places can become a place for prayer that you can really enact with. My next video coming up, which I hope you'll join me with again, we'll be actually praying the rosary, so you can join with me and see how I use this and develop your own way as well. We'll talk a little bit about how to hold your beads. You can hold them. That's one of the other things, is once you're sitting and you're comfortable with how you're sitting, you're going to want to find out how you want to hold your beads, and we'll discuss that a little bit more next time when I talk about the actual sort of praying and getting into it.